Welcome to One Voice, everyone. My name is Roy Gilbert. I'm the president of One Voice, and we are doing a series of webinars to um, inform, educate, and hopefully do business with a lot of you out there. On today's webinar, we're going to explore our coding automation tool, or CAT, as it will be referred to. If you have any questions during the webinar, please type it into the chat box and I'll be made aware of it and we'll answer your questions either during or after, but we will get all the questions answered. And hopefully we'll get everything posted out on our website in relatively short order. We're going to be recording the session. Like I said, we'll get everything out on the website and you'll be able to look at it in more detail and at your own leisure, and you can ask more questions. So let's get going here. When you get set up in CAT, once we put your credentials in and you click on the icon to start CAT up, it logs in automatically. Basically what it does is, you can see from this screenshot, is it's going to load all the databases and you're ready to go. It's loading the ICD databases, the CPT databases, the HCPC database, med database. It's loading everything. So everything is available to you in the program, ready to go. The first thing you have to do is you have to import a document. And that import is either going to be electronic, paper, whatever it's going to be. The document shows up on the screen, and then you've got to make sure you click on the process. And what that does, it's going to process the document, and what it'll give us a document that's ready to open and ready to work with. So now we're going to open the document, and you either choose one or choose them all, and you open them up and away you go. Now, first thing we're looking at here is we're looking at ICD-10, either ICD-9, ICD-10. You can see it showed the ICD-10 that's highlighted, as it's highlighted in the document, and then up top in the gray it shows that diagnosis in all the different codes. So it's not just one of them, it shows all the codes. The next thing you do is you're going to hit an E&M code. So you hit the E&M. Now remember, this is outpatient coding. This is not hospital DRG coding. We're going to do that in another overview, another webinar, another day. But right now, this is outpatient E&M CPT coding. So you click on E&M, and what you get is you get this screen that comes up in the green box, this dialog box. And from there, you can see there's another process button. You hit that process button. And what you get is now you have this whole screen is filled in. You can see the 99214 is highlighted, as well as the level 4 down at the bottom. What you have also is you have the service level summary up at the top, and you'll see how that comes into use in a second. But that's how the visit breaks down. You have the history, the exam, and the medical decision making. We also added one more thing on the revenue side. So you have the components, you have the history, the exam, and the medical decision making. And this is the summary of how the computer calculated the level of visit. So you can see that the history and the medical decision making are both level 4, and because it's established, you only need 2 of those components for that level. So that's why this coded it as a level 4. Okay, so now we're going to go through the service level summary one at a time. So the HPI, history of present illness, you can see that we're using the 1997 coding guidelines. And if it's extended, it allows notes on 3 or more chronic or inactive problems. We have 4 chronic problems. We have 3 new, 1 old chronic, old problems, but they're all chronic. So it gave us extended on HBI. Okay, and you can see 4 is greater than 3, and away we go. And extended. There you go. Okay, on review of systems. The review of systems, you can see right here, we've got 1, 2, 3, it shows 4 review of systems. So, with that said, if you look down at the notes, 4 is greater than 2, less than 10, so it's going to be extended, and sure enough, it's extended. When you take a look at past family and social history, in the document, the only thing that was recorded was past history. There was no family, no social history. So you need at least 2 history areas for this to be considered complete. And because we only had one, we only got a pertinent score when calculating our history. All right, the exam. This is a busy screen. There's a lot going on here. So you can see there's 1995 combined, 1997 combined, and then specific um, overviews of the coding guidelines. So what we have here is these are the systems, the minimum number of systems for each of the exam levels. These are the elements that you have to have within those systems. This is what we did and what we did. This is the actual. Okay, so the combined down here at the bottom, you'll see that 5 and 7. But what we've got here are the elements. So you can see there's the systems and the elements. So you can see there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 systems, which you can see it's in the gray box. And then if you add up the elements, there are 7 elements, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7 elements. So, and you can see where that comes in. So in looking at this, what you have is you have an expanded problem focused visit. Why? Well, you've got 5, which is greater than 1, less than 6 on the number of systems looked at, and you have 7 elements, which is greater than 6 and less than 12. So you go to the lower level of visit. So that's the reason why, or the lower level of exam. That's why it is an expanded problem-focused exam. All right, so now we're looking at diagnoses, and you see there's one established and 3 new diagnoses. And here you have a total of 4. It's amazing how that adds up. And on this table, you can see the minimum of 4, you get an extensive. So it puts that into the calculation. So on the data, this is pretty simple. Got none, 0. Didn't order any lab tests, no radiology tests, so on and so forth, nothing. Okay, on the risk in the presenting problems, the malignant neoplasm was the highest level of diagnosis. However, it just met the moderate in the 1 or more chronic illnesses with moderate issues, or 2 or more chronic illnesses. So we had, if you remember, we had multiple chronic illnesses. That's why this was moderate as opposed to low, and we get credit for that. So next is procedures ordered. Basically, the procedures ordered were minimal, just lab tests or x-rays or EKG, ultrasound, very minimal on the procedures ordered. And the management options for this patient, for this visit, you can see the prescription drugs. So it was more than gargling and elastic bandages, but it was less than major surgical risk or a poor prognosis. So now this is what we've added. One of the things that we've added, which is the revenue screen. And on this revenue screen, what you're doing first is you're saying, okay, where are we? We are in North Carolina, and all the counties in North Carolina are covered under the same um, Medicare RBRBS. The E&M code is a 99214. You can see that it's non-facility 99214. And we're going to find, when we click Define, we're going to find out that the fee schedule for Medicare in North Carolina says we should be getting paid $103.81. And the interesting thing about this is what we've added onto this screen for auditing purposes and just general revenue, however you want to use it, actually, is if you're looking retrospectively, what was the actual CPT code that we coded this visit at, and what was the actual compensation? What are the differences and why? And these are all the things that make a practice better and will help increase revenue. PQRS, we're talking about revenue. If you go back to the main screen, you click on the PQRS, what you get is this screen, which we call the PQRS screen, obviously. And in the PQRS screen, what we have is in this green box, you'll see one of the first measure comes up. There's nothing on the right on the green box because we have to process the PQRS. So once you click on process, what you get is this screen. Again, you get the left side in the green box, and what that tells you is for each measure how it's being calculated and what HCPCS it's going to use. You can see if the performance is met, if it's excluded, or if it's not met, what is being used for the HCPCS and the modifier. And you can see, if you take a look at in the red box now, there are all the measures. And on the left, we have measure 76. And on the right, if you look at measure 76, it said that the performance was excluded, and it's going to use the 6030F-1P. -1P is the modifier, which is not followed for medical reasons. This follows all the PQRS coding guidelines. It's now ready to be, everything on that green side, that gray side of the screen is going to be submitted either on your claims through your EMR or through registry, whatever your practice has chosen to do. The audit trail. You can see this button over here that says Doc. If you click on Doc, it gives you a document. And that document now has everything that we've processed. It has the PQRS. This is the CPT. And within the document itself, in the black, it'll show you all the factors and elements. And I'm sorry it's so small. I wanted to get the whole thing in here. I thought the colors were more important than reading the words. But if anybody wants to see any of that as a sample, please let me know and I'll send you a sample. That's not a problem. And the blue is the ICD codes. And if you look, it'll give you the ICD-9 and ICD-10 within this document. So now you have an audit trail document for everything that you've coded and everything that you've done. Again, I went through this quickly. It was an overview. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to call, send an email. However you want to contact us through our website. We'd love to hear from you. And as always, it's been a pleasure. And if you have any questions, please give us a call. Thank you.